Welcome back, everybody. Derrick Sue, your East Oakland advocate. Well, today I've been asked about my martial arts, the Jeet Kune, the way of the intercepting hand. And the question that I was asked was, well, I see you wear glasses. Don't they get knocked off in a fight? Well, and here's the other thing. Most of my training was without glasses. I did a majority of my training without glasses, except the early years. In my formative years, that's all I had up until I think it was age 18 when I first started wearing hard contact lenses, and then finally soft contact lenses developed, and I wore that throughout most of my career. It wasn't until even when I was homeless, I still wore my contact lenses, and I had the extended wear. So a lot of times I would end up sleeping in them for a day, 2 days, maybe even 3 days without any real issues. I didn't have any eye infections or any eye irritations or anything like that. But as I got older, my eyes, there's still enough tear factor there that I can wear contact lenses, but it's easier for me to wear the regular glasses, and there's less maintenance, there's less cost, and you know, I pay for the glasses, and I'll typically get 2 years of use out of a set of glasses. So yes, in some of my encounters, I have had my glasses knocked off. It's pretty rare, because remember, I started my training with glasses on, and so that was a common occurrence. And so one of the first defenses that I had was intercepting any contact to my face, to my entire face. That way my glasses wouldn't be knocked off, and I could still see. But here's the thing, I can still see, fairly well, but my martial arts, Wing Chun, is not dependent upon sight. I don't need to see my opponent. I can sense them with the sticky hands technique, and that's what makes me extremely dangerous in a close quarter, hand-to-hand combat, because I don't need to have vision to take you on or take on my opponent. And I proved that when I got this, when I was hit in the head with a baseball bat, and I was bleeding profusely. I mean, my whole face was covered in blood, and I was pouring blood. But yet I took down all three of those criminals that were trying to do me harm. And so I wasn't dependent upon vision on that. And I never have, because the sticky hands technique. And when you're in hand to hand and you actually have contact with the elbows, arms, forearms, or even the body, you can tell by with experience when you've trained this way, you are nearly impossible to beat, because you can feel just with the muscle contractions, expansions, arm movements, anything like that can trigger the muscle memory in your training, from your training, and that makes a difference. And in close quarter, you're able to intercept everything, all the blows, maybe some slaps or swipes. We call them touches in training. Those are just touches. And what you train for is to avoid the touches and intercepting all of those touches, not by sight, but by feel. Your hands, your arms, your entire arms, from your fingertips to your forearms and your upper arms, all become sensory and striking tools, blocking tools, intercepting tools, and so it makes a difference. And the opening picture that I posted, that's from a person who was one of the most dangerous domestic violence, and also had a bad attitude on everything until he encountered me. He had beat up and took out 6 police officers before they broke his leg to take him down. And then once he had healed, he started back up in his thing, and he bragged about being shot, still having the bullet in him. And he was stupid enough to mention where it was, so that gives me an advantage. A striking point that's going to really open his eyes, because you strike that and reactivate that bullet, and where it's lodged in him, yeah, that can really get somebody's attention when you hit that point. And you hit it good, and also with my other Jeet Kune and Wing Chun, I didn't have to use the screamo or anything, because he was too simple. I saw a lot of mistakes of what the police officers were doing. I said, man, if he manages 30 seconds with me, he's extremely good, and he's extremely lucky, because very few people manage to go 8 seconds with me. I would say a good 90% of my encounters have been under 8 seconds or under. And then if a couple, about 2-3, lasted about 12 seconds, and then only one street encounter went 21 seconds, and that was with Mr. Bad Attitude, and he was the problem child of my camp. He would beat on his significant other, his spouse, and he threatened people all throughout the camp with physical violence. So until he encountered me, and I gave him a warning, because one of the things that he always respected was the gun on my hip, because he knew that I carried that, but he also recognized that I never drew my gun, and I was more likely to inflict harm with my hands and my legs than with my gun. But there was always that threat, and so he always took that seriously, because he was shot, and so he knows what it feels like and what it's like. And then also the word around the street on me was that, oh, he's a cop, he's an undercover cop. Well, no, I'm not an undercover cop. I'm worse than that. I work counterintelligence and urban warfare. So that's where my training is, and that's why it's extremely hard to beat a well-trained Wing Chun martial artist. Well-trained one, not partially trained, but very well-trained. And then on top of that, I had my Chi energy training, so that I can read your thoughts, your energy as they're coming to your mind, and so I'm reacting to those too. So trying to get a drop on me is extremely dangerous, but I keep my eyes open, keep my head on a swivel at all times. And then, as you see, that big dog there, she's looking for a mouse right now, but she's an intimidation factor that people look at, because that is a big dog, 125-pound American bulldog, and she looks like a giant pit, and that's what intimidates a lot of people. She's very sweet, but she can do a lot of damage, and her breed is farming, and she is strong enough to take on feral pigs, wolves, coyotes, fox, bobcats, and even mountain lions to a point. So that is a powerful dog, and her jaw bite strength is 305 foot-pounds, so it is significant, and she has bitten other people, and I've heard people scream from her bite. So, but anyway, back to Jeet Kune, Oakland. I encourage everybody to seek out a Wing Chun studio to learn and stay with it, because in an encounter, when you're properly trained, you are unbeatable. The Oakland Jeet Kune that I have includes Wing Chun, Eskrima, and Muay Thai. And all three close quarters, hand-to-hand combat. And if you're at fingertip distance, that's a long distance, because I'm up close to you where I can get a good knee strike in on a lot of different places, elbow strikes, everything. So that's Oakland Jeet Kune. I encourage you again, seek out to learn mixed martial arts. It could save your life. I have over 8 years of experience as a homeless person, defending myself in many different encounters, and with multiple opponents, not just one or two, up to 5 opponents at one time, and I dropped all of them. Thanks for joining me today. Stay safe. Oakland Jeet Kune.